bitch on that coat, like Montana. You know about him. Hey. Goddamn, little bitch on that coat, like Montana. I'm on hydrogen codeine, I'ma float like a fountain. Baby, need some protein, work out like a dancer. I got all the hoes in the snow, just like Santa. And we keep the sticks in the smoke, who on cancer? Knocking at that dollar, nigga, you gon' get our answer. Goddamn, baby, you got cakes like a pamper. All about a book, baby, just like Tampa. Man, that boy a boogie dog ass, got no manners. Yeah, you got some ass, but I can't fuck cause I got standards. Don't watch me, better watch TV, yo bitch might change the channel. She finna say she in love with me, but I don't think you can handle. All black the coupe, from the Chevy to the Phantom. Pop up with my root, that little hickey from Atlanta. I might drop a deuce of purple stuff up in my Phantom. I can't leave the crib unless I know I got the glamour. Hit her with that hammer, if I don't, she throw a tantrum. Gon' bend it over, make it clap, it's your anthem. Run up on me, you gon' levitate like a phantom. Keep knocking at that door, little nigga, you gon' get our answer. Goddamn, little bitch on that coat, like Montana. I'm on hydrogen codeine, I'ma float like a fountain. Baby, need some protein, work out like a dancer. I got all the hoes in the snow, just like Santa. And we keep the sticks in the smoke, who on cancer? Knocking at that door, little nigga, you gon' get our answer. Damn, baby, you got cakes like a pamper. All about a book, baby, just like Tampa. That boy bad news, he a menace to society. Everybody a ride, but I ain't had nobody ride for me. Everybody looking out, but ain't nobody had an eye for me. Shit ain't even that deep, and you still chose to lie to me. Damn, you must think a nigga brazen. Little bitch, what's your motive? I hope you ain't tryna play me. Walk it like I talk it, I keep 10 on the pavement. Smoke got me coughing out the cup, I'm steady dazing. Been hot for a minute, I been motherfucking blazing. I been on them benches, steady motherfucking chasing. I can sense that sucker shit just off the conversation. He doing all that woofing, guess he tryna be a patient. Goddamn, little bitch on that coat, like Montana. I'm on hydrogen codeine, I'ma float like a fountain. Baby, need some protein, work out like a dancer. I got all the hoes in the snow, just like Santa. And we keep the sticks in the smoke, who on cancer? Knocking at that dollar, nigga, you gon' get our answer. Goddamn, baby, you got cakes like a pamper. All about a book, baby, just like Tampa.
Alright, everybody. Joe, we're live.
What's up?
Coolin', man.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Get rid of this. Stop streaming. There we go. Okay. So, H3, back at it again, huh? What a G.
You know, keep in mind that I think he was already trying to protect himself from this, because like a month ago he was dressing up like an Hasidic Jew, so I think he was just trying to get in front of it.
Yeah, no.
The guys, it's
Makes
alright,
sense.
I only thought she was a boy. I don't know, but it's absolute bullshit, because
Yes.
I say that, but you have two people who are attention-seeking.
Like, bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're
Trisha Paytas is crazy. She's just like an attention whore at the nth degree.
Yeah, like at no point would I allow her to be in a position where she could affect me.
Well, that's
Like,
the
she's
thing.
not
I don't think
trustworthy.
she was making much money from that, other than, you know, the peripheral shit. Like, you know, whatever she's shilling, people would buy because they saw her on that. Oh,
Yeah, I
I
have no
found the
idea.
Baked Alaska thing that I was looking for so long. Just now. But, let's see. I'm trying to find this picture of young Ethan. But yeah, he'll do some questionable shit for sure a lot of the times, but I don't know. I can't get my head wrapped around people that listen to him like constantly.
Have you
His
tried?
voice, the shit that he talks about, his attitude, like, and then I can't imagine looking at him. He's like a sweaty fish.
But see, he's got that OG kind of thing going for him, where he's been on the internet for so long.
Yeah, but
that...
I can like tolerate Keemstar, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow him on was it Storyfire and all them. I just do him on YouTube because that's good for what I want out of him. It's 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and I don't even watch the second half. I watch the first half.
Let's get right into the news.
Yeah, like collectively it's 5 minutes. I go to the main story at the end, and then after I watch the first 2, 3, 4 minutes, end. Like, like Jeffree Star caught with 17, 12-year-olds. And you're like, all right, I'll skip forward to that. But like, other than that, I'm like, I don't know, like, but I gotta be in the mood, dude. I can't just turn that on any day.
I feel you.
No, it's too much.
Yeah, it's just when it's something topical. But his voice isn't too annoying, his face isn't too annoying. I mean, it is annoying, but not like H3 levels of just sheer irritation.
But see, internet etiquette. Do you follow him?
That sounds familiar. Hold on.
He does like tweets from the class. He's it's hard to describe. He makes these like, anyways, like he's been on H3, so I mean, like, there's been a lot of people he's had on that are good. You know what I mean? And you're like,
sure.
It's kind of like Rogan. Like when Rogan gets like a philanthropist or, some geologist, you're like, okay, I'll watch that. Like it does bring in the views, but like I'm never gonna watch Ethan by himself. Fuck that. I've tried that for 2 episodes. I would rather listen to Bert Kreischer try to hold a podcast on his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love Bert, but
yeah, I mean, like, I'll take
watch,
Bert over H3. Yeah.
I watched Two Bears One Cave for the guests that they have on there. I haven't seen all the episodes without guests, but I've seen all the episodes with guests because I like those a lot.
It was in a mood. I did it for a year. I did follow them for about a year. Where my mom's at is, it has that glimmer of the old internet where, like, you can say this spicy words, which is crazy to think, you know what I mean? Like, you find these little bubbles on the internet, and you're like, I don't like a lot of what you do, but you do remind me of early 2000s humor.
Well, at least I can say whatever the fuck I want,
Yeah, and it's...
There's a lot of political shit that, like, it doesn't apply to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me off of those, was just,
oh, dude,
if you want to make your jokes, whatever.
Irritating. They talk about it too much. This is why you don't, because, like, I like the people, I don't like their politics, so when I hear them talk about it, I'm just like, this is why people say don't talk about politics.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I would follow if they would just, like, a good examples for me is Dave Chappelle, right? Like early Dave Chappelle, everything before his 8-minute special that you're like, I know where you stand politically, but you make jokes. We all laugh about it. I can laugh at my own crew. You know what I mean? I get it, whatever. But then when they're just like, all right, guys, I'm going to be super stoic today, and we're going to talk about the right to abortion. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, just stop. What are you doing, man? I don't want to hear that shit. Like, stay in your lane. It's like,
I know, just be a comedian.
Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like ball players where they're like, hey guys, do you want to talk about women's rights? And you're like, dribble. Your job is to dribble. Fucking do it. Okay? Just shut the fuck up.
Score a home down and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I want to hear that shit. Like, it's, those guys are worse. Because then you're like, you don't even talk for a living. Like, the fuck are you doing?
I'm gonna check out this internet etiquette guy. He looks pretty good. Like, all of the...
I'll send you 1 or 2 of his best ones. Look up Alex Jones.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because, like, admittedly, he's left-leaning. He's right on par with HGH3, Bert Kreischer, all them, right? But he did another good one is 5G. That's a really good one. Like, he'll be like, well, it's crazy that, there's no way 5, cell towers are making you gay and, making your brain rot. Then, like, he does the whole internet rabbit hole of all the evidence that says it does. And then you kind of like, the whole thing's a joke. And then it ends with, like, I don't know, maybe it is nuanced. But, like, at the end of the day,
I don't know. I gotta have my. I want to be able to play Halo on my phone. So fucking YOLO, right?
It's
Yeah,
just
I figure there's a lot of
as long as it's not political, it's
bleach
funny.
drinking going on.
Yeah, he did a huge. That's another great one because he talks about the side of YouTube where it's people who drink bleach, but they don't call it bleach. They call it like MS or whatever it is.
I
And
got
there
you,
was a
Hans.
guy.
Thank you for the stay safe.
Whoa. Like there's a guy who's been linked to a lot of people getting really sick, and he does it under the guys. I'm not telling you what to do, but here's how you make bleach.
Yeah, well,
And he's like, yeah, I just do bleach enemas. It helped cure my kid's autism. And you're like, what? And he's like, yeah, it totally works. All the people in my church do it too. They inject it sometimes.
That's
So
fucking
remember, guys,
crazy.
don't inject a lot of bleach. Just a
Why
little
do
bit, just
people-
enough to kill the bugs.
The Grabbler. It's like Benjamin Owen. Is that his name?
Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
The Bears guy. He did the turpentine shit. For the Grabblers, he called them.
Was that Owen Benjamin or was
Owen
that
Benjamin, not Benjamin Owen. What the fuck? Yeah, Owen Benjamin.
Owen Benjamin's the one that makes videos about?
Yeah,
But I thought that
for a
was the guy
long
that was on the
time,
kill stream.
He's kind of been in that sphere. He
But I thought
He
there was
started
an
drinking-
Infowar guy that did
I don't-
turpentine.
Yeah, he's the turpentine guy. I
Yeah,
don't know
he
if
was-
he
yeah.
was
Owen
on-
Benjamin's not on Infowars. The guy you're talking about is the guy who's been on the kill stream, right?
Has Owen Benjamin been on the kill stream?
No, what's his name that has his own show on Infowars?
Oh, I
An
know who
hour
you're
after
talking
hour.
about, but he doesn't care about turpentine.
Oh, I thought that was the guy who did it. Fuck, I was wrong this whole time.
Yeah, so in 2019, he was on. Owen Benjamin was on, or maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, he's like a comedian. That's where he was famous, just like a stand-up comedian. And then he just went off the rails.
Yeah, a lot of that went back to speaking to Joe Rogan, a lot of his crew turned their back on him and he got real salty about that. But I'm way removed from that because I don't follow the stand-up comedy drama. I just
Nah, me
follow
either.
some of these guys' podcasts. But it was like he was talking shit about Rogan, and then someone was like, "Hey, like, what are you doing? This guy helped you out." And then he was like, "Why are you taking his side, bro? Why are you taking his side?" And then it was just like him versus the Roganites, and he just went swinging for the rafters, basically.
Yeah, I don't even
I was
know.
like, I'm gonna take all y'all motherfuckers out. You can't betray me like that. But then, like, he wasn't getting work. I remember that. Like, no one was booking him because he was just showing up fucked up and, being a nuisance.
He has, if this might just be like a repost channel, but the one on YouTube, it doesn't even show like how many subscribers and everything. He's got it all hidden. He gets like
I don't know
close
if
to-
that's his big platform.
He gets close to like 3,000 views, 3,000 to 10,000 on about every stream.
Okay, so it is YouTube. That's his big thing.
But this might be, like I said, a restream channel that just reposts all his stuff on YouTube.
No.
But yeah, he bought like this property in Idaho or something where all of his followers were supposed to come and live with him. I don't know how that worked out, but like the location got revealed instantly, as it does.
So be honest. If you followed someone for the lulz and you donated money, and we've all done it, and you found out that they released publicly the address, wouldn't you leak that and be like, look, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm also a fan of really good drama, and nothing would be more entertaining to me than for me to give you money to get on your Patreon and then to tell everyone your home address to watch you flip the fuck out on live stream.
It's a fine line between troll and pay pig. You gotta walk in all situations. Because like sometimes the donos, that can be a contributing factor to some of the hilarity.
We've seen it time and fucking time again of guys who change their personality. just because, chat wants them to do something like $5 media or $3 text to speech.
They need their sweet, sweet donos. It's, and if that's your career, I'm not even mad about that,
No, I mean, we've talked about how much Baked pulls in monthly. It's some serious fucking numbers. It's like a lot of these guys where they, these bullshit medical things and, I just anything that's kind of scammy. Where you're like, I wouldn't do that. I have morals, and you're like, wait, 10,000 a month.
Yeah,
10,000
yeah.
a month?
I do a lot
You're
of
like,
compromising.
oh fuck, my morals cost a lot of money, dude. I don't know. I mean, think of like
That's kind of like the OnlyFans girl conundrum, like if you're a woman, you throw it all away for this
well,
sweet,
but that's
sweet
a gamble.
cashola. That is true.
Yeah, well, same thing as.
But what if you're one of those chicks, like like you're like a 9 or a 10, and you would do moderately successful? Or I think timing is probably important because like post-COVID, every whore in town has an OnlyFans now.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's I don't remember the website, but
It started off as like a Reddit page or something like that, and they turned it into a website.
and it was girls that only made accounts on OnlyFans during a certain time frame and didn't post more than a handful of times. And all they did was document these things.
Oh
And they
no,
were like,
that's
"Hey, look."
horrible, dude. Yeah, it's like
Oh.
the blackmail stash.
Yeah,
Gonna
that's
just
exactly
dump
what
it all
fucking
onto
was.
fucking B or something.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey guys, you remember that time you showed your tits on the internet and you only made $17? I got the video when you fucked your hairbrush." And you're
Aw.
like, that is someone's kink. Someone's kink is knowing that by them fapping that they are wrecking someone's life.
Damn, that's so fucked up. Like, it's true, though. It's so true.
But
So-
like, I know someone who makes money on OnlyFans, but like, I don't know if she would admit it if she was like, I did it for a month and I made fuck all. No one liked me. You're like, Jesus, like you were $5 tits and no one liked you. I don't know if I could deal with that rejection. That's. I mean, like these girls betrayed their morals. At a minimum, gave up on morality. For what? $20 a month? And no one resubbed the second month? That's a bigger blow.
Ooh. that sucks. They're willing to throw 20 on it just once.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many... It's like, OnlyFans has no stats. I've looked so far for all the stats that I think matter. And, like, I can't find some of these people's, like, what's your average resub percentage?
Well, yeah, they can say, like, you're in the top what percent or low, whatever I mean. Like, the lower the percentage, the more popular they are. Like, obviously, top 1% would be
huge.
So,
yeah, no, I want to know, like, on average, how many people sign up for your stuff a second time. That's going to be like the back end of YouTube, that if you're not a creator of your own channel, that stuff's not going to be out there.
So, that TikTok I sent you about the wood burning person.
Yes.
So, let's see. That TikTok has
Where'd you find that, more
606,000.
importantly?
I was just like fucking trolling through TikTok. She's not even good at wood burning at all. Like, she's pretty shitty.
Dude, I got a wood burning. Oh, no, I used to have a wood burning kit. I think it broke and I tossed it out. But like, it doesn't take but like, a handful of, like, if you do an entire 2x4, front, back, and sides, by the time you finish an 8-foot stick, you're like, I'm pretty good at this shit. I got this.
Yeah, she just does like Christmas ornaments and shit, but none of them are good. They're all like, they look like just, like freehand basic drawings, nothing crazy, nothing symmetrical, nothing ornamental. But she there's 20,000 videos on that, or 20,000 comments on that video I sent you, and they're all some variation of like, she got all pissed off that people were putting #nicewood on some of her
Yeah.
posts, and she made this real sassy TikTok about it, and all 20,000 comments on it, and like the majority of them are just hashtag nice wood, or
Good.
my favorite, hashtag wood nice.
I like the nice WOULD. That was my favorite.
Yeah, good variation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's top tier troll. I gotta appreciate it. It's a good hustle for that guy.
But like you hear those numbers and you're like, this bitch isn't even good at wood burning. How does she have all this? It makes me think that TikTok is at least 20% bots that just go through, because she didn't even post that shit recently. It just got so much comment traction that people it put her on like the front page essentially.
Well, isn't it similar to YouTube where it's just algorithm based where
Yeah,
like
for sure.
everyone has seen the video where it's 12 years ago and all the comments are, okay, this was fun, see you guys in another 10 years, you know? Like everyone's comments the same of like, I don't know why I was recommended this, but this is awesome. Also, it's a
Yeah, the
9-year-old
YouTube
video.
algorithm.
Yeah, just grab something and runs with it for the day.
Sometimes that shit's
wasn't that the
awesome.
whole thing with Elsagate? You know what I mean? Whatever is showing traffic, they push to the top, and they don't care what it is. They don't look at
Oh,
it.
exactly. The Spider-Man bullshit weirdo
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, that was disturbing to me, dude.
Like she
Yeah.
literally has a video that has 268,000 views on it, and it's her writing hashtag WAP on a fucking clothespin.
Fuck
I'm gonna start fucking wood burning. Shit. I could do this. Wood
May
burn
wanna,
warrior. But yeah, seriously, it's custom wood burning on fucking TikTok, and you can see how shitty the quality is. I can't imagine people buying that from her, but
There's a lot of stuff that ends up, buyable on. So, like, people might watch something like that on YouTube, right? But you're not going to buy it on Etsy.
sure.
Like, I love watching Damascus blades being made.
Oh yeah.
But, like, I would buy that. I mean, and I have bought them. But, I mean, I also
That
like
shit's
watching.
expensive though too. Like I can't imagine
Oh,
she's selling these little wood burning bullshits for
$10.
more than like $5-10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all she's got. Yeah, but I mean, like, you wouldn't buy that. Like, I wouldn't buy. Like, I mean, like, same thing. I watch
would literally
kitchen
just
tables
do it
being made in
myself.
dressers. I mean, fuck. I mean, you can
wood
literally
burning
just
kit's like
go
20
underneath the
bucks.
bridge. Oh no, fuck that. You go underneath the bridge. You find a guy with a butane torch smoking crack. You say, hey, heat
let
up
me
your
borrow
light
that real
bulb
quick.
and rub it. Yeah, rub it on this 2x4. Okay, thanks.
Oh, why is it always 2 buys? Shit, I don't know. With the price of lumber these days, maybe it is a little bit more of a.
I mean, he might
startup
rob you
cost.
for that 2x4.
Seriously, dude. Like, when I sent you that picture of all that plywood that got delivered, my boss
Yeah.
like put a lift up against it, and like turn the lift off so that like the whole lift was resting on top of it.
Yep.
But I don't blame him because shit was fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fucking insane, and like, if that was the only thing that skyrocketed over the last 12 months, its lasting effects over the next 10 years are so fucking vast. Of construction jobs.
Dude, just home
I mean,
buying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Even if you took out construction,
Yeah,
like,
just real estate.
yeah. So because bought a house, you gotta do all this fucking insurance. The insurance increase from what
dude.
it was quoted at from 2 years ago to now was like
Double, right? Basically.
50 something to 60 something percent.
Yeah, sometimes as much as double, depending on if you
Yeah.
just go with some bullshit agency or whatever you let your mortgage company pick.
Oh yeah. If I'd have done that, it would have been easily almost double. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I can think of the two companies that I narrowed down to like they were the same price. I just wanted to see like which company I wanted really, and it was like $80 a month cheaper.
Oh, that's
Cool, yeah.
significant.
Yeah, that was 80 a month cheaper than the first, like 2 phone calls I made. They just kind of like shot something from the hip and were like, yeah, it's, blah, blah, blah a month. And I was like, fuck you, that's crazy high. Like, there's no way. That's like 4 times what, the bank is telling me it should be. And then, after like I did some real digging, they were like, oh no, it's just double what it should be. I was like, all right, cool.
What's up,
Thanks.
Spaz, in the Trovo chat?
So, unrelated to all this, so if you were we'll say Russian Indian hacker, and you wanted to target boomers
Wait, are you like
on
Russian or Indian, or like a Russian dude fucked an Indian woman?
both,
And you're trans and you just don't know.
transracial, transsexual,
Both. It's just a big bunch
not
of
based.
confusion.
Not based, yeah, no. But if you wanted to target boomers on social media to get their accounts to do a varied of things that they do, right? So you would probably target groups that you knew boomers were attracted to, like I love the 60s or like 70s muscle cars or like 80s coked out speed metal. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like if you're a huge fan of this stuff, you can generally guess their age, right? But how do you follow who is active on social media, right? Someone I know got their account hacked on Facebook, and I figured out how. The person targets has been fans that go on tour to small little clubs and follow their account. So when people show up at this event and tag themselves, or they upload pictures to this person's profile and be like, oh, I got a picture with this singer, here's my selfie with them, right? Those are the people they target, because not only you can look at it at a glance and say, this fucker looks like he's 50 to 60. He's boomer as fuck, guaranteed his account has shit security. And they would just target these musicians' accounts. It's fucking brilliant. I never would have thought of this.
There's so many like weird little scams like that. Like, you remember when Twitter got hacked and all that Bitcoin got stolen?
Wasn't it alleged? Well, I call bullshit, but wasn't it allegedly like 2 20-year-olds?
It was a fucking minor, dude. No, it was like a 16-year-old
Okay,
kid. Yeah.
minor. Okay, but wasn't it like him and like his buddy helped him?
I'm not
his
exactly
buddy worked
sure. I know he got picked up. He's the only one that got arrested, so I think it was just him.
Yeah, I think that they theorized that he knew someone that worked there, and that was his end, because they were like, how did you pull this off? There's no way you did this without having someone on the inside that was like a temp worker or janitor or someone that had some background in this shit. And I knew that they figured out he knew someone that worked there, but I don't know if they got picked up, because I think he was trying to stick to his story that he hacked his buddy's laptop that had work stuff on it and got into the network that way. And his buddy knew nothing about it, allegedly.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel like this, either he's a fucking straight up savant, or they just used that motherfucker and it had nothing to do with him at all. He just got, wrapped up in it somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it takes so much time to figure out those schemes and so much energy. I guess if you're good at it, it doesn't. But to me, it's like, rather just, I don't know, invest legally.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on this guy. He was like the most prolific spy that stole stuff from the Pentagon, or from the U.S., but most of it came from the Pentagon. And he stole more during the Cold War than any other spy. And he has never said who his contact was. He's just rotting away in fucking prison. And he's just like, yeah, I only know them by their code name as like Mr. X or Mr. Z, whatever the fuck it was, right? Because they were telling him exactly what cabinets to go into within the Pentagon, what room to go to, what file cabinet, what drawer, and where it was inside that drawer, and what files to grab.
And what were the files for? Did you say already?
Cold War.
Oh,
just
yeah.
everything from Cold War. And a lot of it went back to, the favorite my favorite country, Israel, and a lot of it, and they've, you know, the documentary was saying that Israel has never turned back a lot of this stuff, right? That to this day they still haven't turned it back over to us. And I was like, well, I don't really know why. I mean, like, because then you're admitting that you have it, or two, I don't know. If you already have it, make a copy and give them back the original. Like, fuck you. I don't care. I already got my copy. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? But, it was all of it was fucking Cold War shit. And they were like, they never have figured out who he knew on the inside. Like, all these years later, they still haven't figured out how someone knew everything that much. And it was just one of those, like, very deeply fucking sleeper agents,
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard one time, I don't know how, like, true it is, but Washington, D.C. has more, like, espionage agents than any other place in the world. So you can imagine there's just more coming every day, I bet, and just sitting and waiting. I just
can you imagine
I just found out that they have a distribution of Linux that's called the Hannah Montana Linux, and it's like an operating system, and it's all based on Hannah Montana shit.
Why? Is it just a joke, or?
Yeah, Linux is like a highly customizable operating system. You can slide.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know that. But I'm saying, what purpose does the Hannah Montana aspect of it serve?
It's kind of just
someone
like
did as a joke.
Yeah, it's like a skin.
No. I mean, fuck, I got a skin on every one of my laptops. You know what I mean? It's just, why not?
Yeah, it's like all the icons are different. They're pink and shit.
Yeah, dude, you were a little fucking elite hacker back
Yeah,
in the day.
I only use Hannah Montana Linux. Sometimes I'll sideload Justin Bieber.
Oh shit, you sideload. You must be a real fucking elite. Yeah, that's some fucking hacker shit back, and you're like, oh no, I only use Unix.
Well, I tried to learn Linux for a long time, and it was just like it was Ubuntu, the distribution was called, and I think it was like Ocelot or whatever version. But it was still early enough that I could fit it on a CD. Like that whole operating system would fit on a CD.
That's forever ago, bro.
Like 2015 probably. 2014, 2015. Because it's not as user friendly as Windows.
No, I got out. I tried it after I went
everything.
I went from HTML4 to HTML5. I learned Java. My buddy was into Linux, and I think it was right when HTML5 was coming out, and we were fucking. He knew Linux, I didn't, and I was like, I did it for about a year. I fucked with it for about a year, and I was like, there's so much. It wasn't for me. I'm like, it's a lot to learn.
What's funny about HTML is it's basically obsolete, because now if you want to design a web page, they have like just a fucking app, or a program where you can just make one. And like they got rid of Flash. Yeah, like Flash is gone, so all the Flash player plugins for HTML are just useless.
Dude, I was so happy when I wrote my first JavaScript, dude. Like, you write that fucker from scratch without help. You're like, oh shit, I made a puddle effect with my own custom image and did the whole fucking thing, and you're making graphics for websites, and for what? I mean, all of that went by the wayside. I really thought that was gonna be,
I'm an elite coder.
Money long term. Well, I mean, like, I knew it was bullshit. It was script kiddie stuff, right? But like, it was like, I thought, when I turned 18, that it was gonna be like a job. Like, I could use this.
You just learned the wrong language, and like, honestly, the other languages are so complex. It's like you really gotta want to do it and have that kind of autism.
Well, see, my high school taught C++.
Oh yeah, and, like, that one's good.
Yeah, I took a year of it.
Yeah, I don't. That shit's too esoteric for me. Like, I don't. My like fucking sand grain brain can't handle it. Well, and I feel like I would give up really quickly when it came time to do like the testing, and it would just fuck up and you'd run it again, and something else would fuck up, and you'd fix that, and then the original thing would fuck up again because of the fix, and then that's like an endless cycle of doing that until you figure it out, really. And then you think about that and apply it to like a video game. Sounds like hell.
Oh, dude, I remember, like, it was interesting as I was learning to code, lol. Like, you would load up something as simple like a DVD menu, and you're like, I can do this. Like, I know I'm looking at someone else's work, but I'm looking at this and this all makes sense. And then someone would be like, do you want to load, like, they would load a PlayStation 1 game. And you're like, holy fuck. I got nothing on this, dude. The menus look complicated.
So around the 2015 era, I had a Galaxy S3. I think there's like fucking 11 of them now or something.
I'm looking at an 11 right now, so yeah.
But there was, I can't remember what I used. I think it was a PlayStation 1 emulator. You had to root the phone, which is like jailbreaking for Androids. And
you were running PS1 on a
dude, on a
dude,
Galaxy
S3
S3, and like
back then, dude.
the
That thing was
coolest
screaming.
the coolest fucking part about it was I had a cord that was micro USB on one side and whatever a PS3 controller was on the other side, so I could actually plug that in and use the controller. I felt like a fucking gangsta. I was playing that like snowmobile game.
Oh fuck, I had that. It wasn't Arctic Thunder? No.
Maybe.
Hydro Thunder was the arcade game that has the
boats. Yeah.
So that was jet ski. It didn't have Rob Zombie Dragula.
Yes, that's where the first time I heard that song.
Yeah, because that was a black disc, because that was that Twisted Metal, Earthworld Jim, and then a couple others that I had. You could put them in your CD player.
What the fuck is that thing? Snowmobile game PS1. Sled Storm.
Yes. Like, I can call my fucking mother right now and show her a video and be like, do you remember this? She'd be like, yes. Like, cause like she would play that with me.
1999, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that game. That was that, and like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2
Dude,
were just time sucks.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Underground 8. Dude, I had like all kinds of shit finished on that game, and I was to the point where I was like downloading other people's skate parks and stuff, and I was saving my game one time, and someone like flipped the switch on the power strip, and so it turned everything off, and I load everything, complete corruption. Completely fucking gone. So I was like, alright, whatever. I figured out most of the game, so I played it for a little bit longer, but that was pretty much the death knell for me.
Yeah, I took time off from games. So, like, I remember Tony Hawk 3, maybe 4. I really liked Dave Mara, BMX. I did there was a skateboard game that used the same engine, so everything was the opposite of. Maybe it wasn't. No, because I liked Thrasher. I liked Thrasher better than Tony Hawk 1 in the beginning. Because like I used to skate back then, so like it was, oh, this is Thrasher, like this is a real, skate magazine made their own game. This is totally way more legit than some fucking, vert skating fucker.
It looks almost identical. That's funny. I never played that.
I really liked it. Like it was just more underground. They had like different. It was real simple. You could change your shirts, your decks, your wheels, your trucks. The whole fucking thing, right? But like they use a little bit more quote unquote independent brands. So like it was more on the side of like.
So
who was it that Jamie Thomas used to skate for?
Guess who published that game?
Neversoft was Tony Hawk, because I remember the eyeball and the knife. So Thrasher had to be. Was it Rockstar?
It was, dude. You did play that game. But yeah, 1999. I mean, Rockstar is so dominant today. You forget that they've been in it for a long time. The Grand Theft Autos and stuff. I mean, you gotta remember GTA 5 is like a 7-year-old game, and still people are still using it for all kinds of new ways. Like the Grand Theft Auto roleplay genre has been created, and
What is that?
so like a lot of rappers will get on Grand Theft Auto and LARP on there, basically.
As
And so
Okay.
there's a rapper named T Grizzly, and he has a server for GTA 5 where, you know, he invites all of his friends and stuff, and they go and they ride around and they play the game and they fuck with each other. There's this newish kid named Aiden. He's been around for a while, but he's supposedly starting one that's going to be like the cream of the crop. Let's see. Aiden Ross. This was a couple months ago though, so no, I guess it's already in May he went live with it. But he had like
Okay.
people try out for it and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, people are making lots of money doing that, streaming it and stuff. And they're not even really using the game as intended. They're almost like they created a different way to play.
do they have like little cliques you can join? Like you
Yeah,
gotta try
yep.
out and fucking get, blood in, blood out kind of shit.
Exactly. There's gangs. And the thing with these roleplay servers, they have them set up in such a way where if you die, you lose everything. So, you don't want
Oh
to die.
shit! So there actually are consequences.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then if you wreck a car, you have to buy another one. Shit like that.
That's fair.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting time. Like, I mean, a lot of effort. I don't know. But I guess if you're reminiscing for the hood, you can hop on GTA 5.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like if you're a straight gangster, you should have no problem playing one online, right?
Oh my goodness, there was this one. What's up, drum boy? Where they go and they're at a basketball court, and somebody is just kind of talking shit, and so they walk away and they go to this Honda Civic and they drive around and they drive by and then they drive away, and it's like everything about that is exactly how that would happen. And it was some like Brooklyn mod, so they were in it. It almost looked like GTA 4, the maps and stuff.
Mhm.
But you could tell it was GTA 5 the gameplay. But yeah, it was so funny. They got the guns out of the Honda Civic and then just sprayed and dipped. And it was just so funny to watch like 30 characters all run in different directions. I'll see if I can find that and send it to you, because that shit was pretty funny.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto is one of those games that by them staying, they figured out the formula that people want and stuck to it. They did very good at keeping their audience.
Well, GTA, like, people were saying how the damage textures and stuff in GTA 2 or whatever, or Vice City or whatever it was better than the damage aesthetics in Cyberpunk 2077. So
Doesn't surprise me.
yeah, they've got it. They've through trial and error and almost 2 decades probably figured out what people want and what's worth putting, committing processing power to.
I played it on a console, and I don't know what console it was. So it was before Grand Theft Auto went to PlayStation, when it was still pixels. It was like, I remember the second one. My buddy had the second one. I guess it was Sega Genesis, or it was that generation.
Oh, it was like a top-down shooter?
Yeah. It was top down. It was like you would just like walk around. I mean, it looked like Mario. Well, not Mario. It looked like
Well, they
like Super Nintendo level of graphics.
Yeah, they made a Nintendo DS version of Grand Theft Auto, and that was top down.
I bet that's it. I bet that's. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, like Metal Gear. Everyone knows Metal Gear from PlayStation 2, but like, I got really into the first game, and then I went back and found, back in the day on eBay, which was like, I was super happy I found it for Nintendo, actual NES. For, I think it was 1 and 2 were on Nintendo. And it's like, oh, this is a totally different game. It was like Contra more than anything.
Yeah, well, that switch from 2D to 3D was probably just revolutionary for people at the time.
Oh yeah, especially with Kojima involved. You're like, oh shit. It was a movie that you got to play, is what it was.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weird, like, low reviews. There's, like, a bunch of 1-star reviews for Grand Theft Auto, the original one. I mean, it was made in 97.
I mean, it wasn't, but it was different back then, because you could, like, steal cars. Like, that was the shock value. That was like, oh god, like, so-and-so's mom let him buy this game. Oh shit, let's go to his house. And you're like, wait, you get to steal cars? And they're like, my older brother's got a friend who got the new game, and he says you can kill hookers. And you're like, no way, bro.
You can do whatever you want?
You're like, no way. There's no way they would do that. The world would explode. There's no way. And they're like, wait until you hear in the future about the movie Cuties. They give no fucks.
So
There's
funny,
no
they
rules no
always
more.
had cheat codes, too. What was the... Oh, man. There was a website I used to look up cheat codes on.
Cheat CC, and then IGN.
Maybe it was called
dot.
Game Winners?
Oh yeah, we talked about this before, because we had different cheat codes growing up. I had
Oh, man.
cheatcc.com.
They went down in 2017. How about that? I used to go to that website all the time.
Because I remember sages.ign.com, and that was like the corporate site. But CheatCC was like straight HTML folders and, just basic ass shit. But like, so what was the first game you remember putting a cheat code in?
Probably GTA. Maybe, there was a different, maybe Mortal Kombat or something.
Yeah,
On like SNES.
I never got huge into Mortal Kombat. I think it had to
I
be a
don't even know
Sega.
if Mortal Kombat even has cheat codes, to be honest.
They probably did. Yeah, they had to. I mean, you had like 30 button combos. Sooner or later, they were like, hey, if you do 32 buttons in the right order, you can unlock a move before they give it to you,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, God, because like, but see, a lot of those cheat codes, even in the beginning, they were like the original walkthroughs. Like, hey, by the way, it's not really technically a cheat code, but if you go to this area of the map, you can get stuff. And you're like, oh shit, that's not on the map. How do I get there? And they're like, oh, you go down this corridor and you turn left and you take the second right, and then, oh my god, there's a health bar, and you're going to need that for the next boss battle. And that, like, changes, how you can fight the boss, I remember Tony Hawk was a huge thing. Because, I mean, like, they had the cheat menu, right? And then Sled Storm had cheats. I remember that.
Maybe that was the first game I used cheats for. Holy shit.
Yeah, Sled Storm had cheats. I remember around the same time there was Hydro Thunder, because the local Walmart had a, arcade thing where you put in, 50 cents and you got to play. It's the same company, I remember. And I remember my mind got blown when I figured out that not only did you have cheat codes at a console, but you could have cheat codes for an arcade game. Because I remember I would use cheat codes at Hydro Thunder, and then I would use them for Area 51. Because Area 51, the little shooter game, right? The arcade, they're like the huge, everyone knew that game, right? There was cheat codes. And I remember I would go to the arcade and I would spend, an hour or two at the arcade, right? And then I would go home and I would remember all the games I played there. and I would look them all up. I would write it all down, or if I begged my mom, I could print off like 2 pieces of paper, right? So it'd be like super small fonts, not using up all the ink, and then I would like sneak in there like a little ninja, and then pull out my little piece of paper, and then when no one was looking, I would try to get to the cheat menu to enter on the cheat codes to have like extra lives, because it was like mission, like a legitimate life hack that you could go to Walmart.
Well, yeah, you had to like pay to
and
play.
put in $1. Yeah, and you could have 99 lives on a game. You could play 99 levels. Like, people would get mad. They'd be like, what the, like, because, I mean, they just think that I just sat down and I put in, like, $90, you know what I mean? Like, how did you get this many levels? And you're just sitting there just playing for, like, 30 minutes or 45 minutes before, you get told to fucking, like, enough, we're leaving, come on, let's go. And you're like, the kid after me is gonna fucking have a heyday. Like, that was like, I remember that with Hydro Thunder. That was a big deal.
Yeah, Hydro Thunder was a classic. I remember playing
Area
that
51.
before I think I had any consoles or whatever.
I don't know what my first arcade was. I think it was like Galaga, or
That
it was
like
something
motorcycle
older.
game. Oh, that was one of the first games I played
Road
too.
Rash?
Was Road Rash? Yeah, for the Sega.
Yeah, because Road Rash had. That was another one, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where you'd be like, oh, you can beat people with chains?
You got a
Like-
stick.
Oh, fuck yeah. I remember, like, oh, there's another one. The cheat codes for Need for Speed for PlayStation 1. You could get all the cars. You could play as a cop car. Like, Need for Speed 2 had cheat codes. I remember 1 did, I swear. But then, like, you get, like, I'll go down memory lane, right? And, like, I did this with my buddy. We talked about all the games we played growing up. And then we played them. And then you're like, I should have left it as the memory.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, I regret that. Don't ever do that. Never go back.
Some of those games were so hard.
Yeah, and then you're like, that, you don't want to use a cheat code because like you're like, well, I'm not gonna use the cheat code. I'm still gonna win. I'm still gonna play the game, right? But I just want extra ammo. I just want extra guns. I just want a couple extra lives.
Yeah, I
But
like to
then,
get like helicopter vehicles and shit.
Yeah, and then like sometimes you fuck it up, and then you're like, I actually ruined the game because I no longer want to play this damn thing. It's not fun. I unlocked all the levels. Yeah, I have 3 favorite levels, and I'm done. But then, like, you would play a game, like, I remember X-Men 2 for Sega Genesis didn't have cheat codes. And you're all like, oh, this is so fucking hard. I can't cheat. I can't play it for a week and then put a cheat codes in it and then it gets better. Like, it's just legitimately hard. And you're like, fuck.
Alright, let's see what the chats are up to. Yep. I'd like to try some VR shit. I've never been able to play VR games yet, but hopefully someday soon.
Have you thought about going to like a Dave and Buster's type place?
Yeah, maybe,
to
but
try it?
like, I just want to be able to relax in my home and kind of like, not have to worry about people sneaking up on me and shit. Not really, but just like, take my time with it and everything. Have you seen Beat Saber?
So I've seen it played, yes.
Yeah, that looks like fun.
I played wasn't there a Wii game that was similar?
More than likely.
I think you chopped up fruit or some shit.
Oh, Fruit Ninja? That was like that PlayStation 2 camera. Do you remember that? It was like the PlayStation Eye.
Yeah, okay, so I never did that. I knew people that did.
That was a wild time. You're like, this is groundbreaking technology.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy because you'd be like,
You could see yourself
It's
on
a
the
whole
screen, and
thing.
then you could like, yeah,
Yeah.
swing your arms and stuff.
Yeah, because I remember like there was a big argument of like PlayStation had it and Xbox had it, but somehow they were different. I can't remember the difference. I always had PlayStation growing up.
Well, PlayStation had that way before Xbox came out with like the Kinect and all that shit.
But then, like, I don't think I ever even got one. I don't think I did. I think I just, like, knew about it. I think I went to one person's house, like, years after it came out, and they had it. And you're like, oh, that's what it looks like. All right, moving on.
Yeah, it was like
Do
some
you
little
remember renting
240p camera.
consoles?
We thought it was
Yeah, fuck yeah.
groundbreaking.
Do you remember renting consoles? Like Blockbuster did that. Did you ever do that?
I didn't actually do that. No, I don't. That was kind of like a little bit before, and it was probably too expensive.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. I know that like I'm like
I'll be
I
right
didn't
back.
pay for it.
Oh,
But,
Spez is here.
I
Hey, what's
remember
going
it
on?
was, like, what's happening? For like renting a console like Blockbuster, you could. I think they included like one game, but it was like the cost of like 5 or 6 movies. So I mean, like whatever that cost was, I don't remember. I was a kid, but it was like $20 back then for a night, you know. And like you would have like 2 or 3 friends over, and you would like rent a PlayStation or whatever it was, right? And like you would get one game, and then you might beg and get 2 games and go crazy. But like you could rent a fucking Xbox or PlayStation, Sega, Genesis, or whatever it was back then, right?
That was a good time. I used to do that.
Yeah, I can't remember what we rented. I swear we rented a PlayStation, but I don't think
PlayStation was like the first big system, I feel. Like that's when people like really went nuts over video games, because that's like they really brought like video games to the next level with that system, because like you
Who
had
did?
like M-rated PlayStation,
Just
like the original PSX.
yeah,
Because like Twisted Metal and like Resident Evil, those were all like edgy games at the time. Those were considered like whoa, kinds of games and stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, that was like huge.
Nintendo would never.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had Nintendo and Sega, which were kind of on the same page, and a lot of us had Sega Channel. I had Sega Channel. So like, yeah, do you know about that?
I've heard of it, but what was it?
It was like a cartridge that you got from your cable provider. And
No
you put
way.
it in you put it into your Sega Genesis, and it had that coax in the back of it, and you had to
Oh,
plug
that
that
makes
in.
sense.
And every month you got new games, plus like a lot of the same ones you had maybe the month before, but you would also get to test play like new games before they even came out, like Earthworm Jim 2
It's
and like the new
fucking,
Mortal Kombat.
subscription-based content, like
Yeah,
20,
it was
30
great, man. And
years.
it would update once every month. And like sometimes my brother and I, we would stay up like on midnight, to wait for the new ones to load, and
Let that shit
be
roll
like
over.
1 in
yeah.
the morning, and like, but that was a good time. But like when PlayStation came out, it was like, all right, here comes like adult gaming. Like this is where it's gonna like go to the next level, and it started bringing in blood and
Competition to like the ability to land and everything.
What was
Yeah.
the game where they had like the girls jumping on trampolines? It was like he had a smoker's jacket. And he was like a young Hugh Hefner. Do you
Leisure
remember this
Suit
game?
Larry.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. That
I think that
blew
was a
my
PC.
mind. They had it on console. They had a console, and
They
I
really?
think that was one of those ones where they had to edit it to get it to NC-17 or
Yeah, they did.
whatever the
yeah,
rating
for
was.
sure. Well, like
And it was
going
one of those things where you're
postal.
like,
Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know about going postal, but like that's one of those things. Like I remember I saw Leisure Suit Larry at Blockbuster, and you're like, oh shit, I heard about this. I read about this in the magazines, and you'd be like, oh fuck, there's no way I'm allowed to rent this, but I wanna. I hear you can see boobies.
They had
So,
Sega
yeah,
games that
it
you could
was-
unlock that in.
In 1987, it was a DOS game. It looks like they
How
had
could
like
you-
an Atari computer. Let's see. I'm trying to.
How could you hack Sega? I can't remember that because it wasn't. It was the. What was the way that you could play imported games on those? I remember I hacked my PlayStation, but how did you do Sega Genesis?
Don't know. They had games with hidden nudity in it, though. There was one called Rings of Fire or Rings of Chaos. And there was some code you could put in like the title screen, and it would just show you all these like anime nudity pictures.
Oh my God! They just soiled so many youngsters.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
But like
Yeah,
it was
that's
a rare
nice.
game to find. You couldn't find it really, and it was rated NC-17 because of that. But the rest of the game was like some stupid like just regular game. There wasn't really anything bad in it except there was hidden anime, like naked anime pictures. Like it was like what? So, I don't know.
Do you remember looking at the back of the video game magazines and they had those like ads like you do in the back of like Popular Mechanics? Like in Popular Mechanics or Popular Science, it'd be like, you can build your own hovercraft to your house for $5,000 and we'll ship
Yep.
it your door. But on like the gaming magazines, it could be like, we'll sell you the PlayStation chip to run CDRs. And you're like, holy fuck, it's everything I need. Like everything you needed to hack your PlayStation, you could order at the back of the catalog. Like I remember that. That's how I hacked mine. Like I just ordered the kit. And like I remember like getting discs from friends and like we would burn our own PlayStation games.
Yeah, I never did that. I didn't know that was going on, but like I knew there were plugs back there that I'm like, oh, what do all these do? Like
Yeah.
I had the Game Shark. I still have it to this
Never
day.
sell that. Never throw that away, dude. That
No,
was
I know.
so baller. You would be like, I can run twice as fast, motherfucker. I can reload twice as fast. And you're like, fuck the cheat codes, because that was the ultimate thing, right? That was what I thought would really, and it did last, because eventually you had to buy the codes and all that shit. But like I remember in the beginning, you could just buy the catalog at like Blockbuster, and it had a magazine you bought for like $10 or whatever it was, right? And it had all the codes for Game Genie, and then like that was a whole new world because you could apply. Because they're just speeding it up. It's like the turbo controllers for Nintendo. It just changed the game.
Yeah, what was the one for Game Boy called? Was it the same brand? Game Shark?
I don't know.
Hey, Game Genie.
Game Shark. They were slightly
Game
different.
Genie was like for the original like systems, and then later on they came out with like Game Shark. But...
Yeah, I think I have a Game Genie for an NES somewhere in my house.
I had a Game Shark for... Fuck, I don't know what I had it for now. Do you remember Sonic? So on Sega Genesis, Sonic had like 1, 2, and 3, and they came out with Sonic and Knuckles. And it was a Sega cartridge that the top of it opened, and you could put another game on top of it. And so you would load Sonic and Knuckles, and then open the top, and you would put in Sonic 2. And he would allow you to play as Knuckles inside Sonic 2.
That's pretty baller, yeah.
And you're like, oh, dude, like that blew my mind. Because I was like, fuck every other Sonic game. I just want Sonic and Knuckles. Because I can finally play as the cool guy.
The cool red hedgehog.
Yeah, man, he was so much. And then, like, they went full edgelord and came out with Shadow. But I mean, he's just a fucking wannabe. Knuckles is where it's at.
They used to have something for Sega that they would always advertise, like, and I never knew how to like buy it. I think it was called the Menacer, or maybe it's not that. It was like they originally had Wii technology for Sega Genesis, like where you could plug it in for like fighting games, and it was a giant ring that like you stepped inside of, and like you could use it on Virtual Fighter. I remember that.
Huh.
but like it never had a price or anything. You would always see it in like EGM magazine, Electronic Gaming Monthly, if you guys remember that. And that was like the primo magazine of like the 90s of like gaming. We had a subscription to it, and I would always see it in the back of it, and I'm like, how do you get this thing? Like, and it was like, I think it was like Japanese technology. Yeah, or maybe it was only out in Japan or something like that. I don't know. But Sega was always ahead of its time.
There was always like these weird accessories, like we've talked about Virtual Boy before, where it's just one of those blips. Like you remember it or you don't remember it, but it didn't make a big impact. Like so Nintendo NES had the Duck Hunt gun. And then eventually someone came out with a fucking bazooka for like Super Nintendo, I think, maybe.
SNES scope. It was like called the scope or something.
But it was real fucking big, right? It was like like a fucking rifle looking thing. And you're like, Jesus Christ. But like I never knew anyone that had one. I never saw one at the store. Like, and it's like some of those mats, you know, that you stood on. And it was before Dance Dance Revolution, but you're like, like what game even would use that? And it's just like these weird accessories that I'm sure was just these small companies that somehow got a hold of the code, or halfway they were allowed to make accessories.
Reverse engineered it from other shit, I'm sure, because it was still like mostly analog, I feel like.
I mean, yeah.
Or like
I mean, look
just
at,
the
like,
first gen digital
media.
technology.
Like, you ever looked up Forgotten Media, like these weird cartridges and tapes and all that kind of shit that have come and gone over the years that no one remembers? Like, not the tiny CDs that were inside the cassettes. Like, it's just something that like a handful of companies made. But like, when you go down that rabbit hole on YouTube, you also find video game accessories that never took off. And some of it's like that ring, you know, where it's like you saw it in a magazine, but it's like, again, it's like Japanese only. Same thing like some of these games. Like I remember like the first time your buddy ordered a Japanese game from a magazine and got it shipped to his house, and he was playing some game in Japanese that he bought. He didn't download it. It was before this. You know, and you'd be like, wait, you can order video games from another country? And you're like, yeah, man, I got Dragon Ball, and it's all in Japanese. And you're like, that is amazing. You know, I fucking loved that shit back then. It was so much fun finding out about all these different stuff that you never knew. It was still exciting. It was before the internet, you know? I'm just a boomer that remembers things. Let's see what else is,
I got a bunch, man. I've got like 3 Mario games that were never released in the United States for Nintendo, or what they call it, Famicom over there, or something like that. There's like a Bushido Mario game that's like really crazy and complex. I have to kind of dive into that. My favorite one that was ever made was Custard's Revenge. Have you guys ever seen that?
No, what is it?
It's for Atari. Someone literally made a game about General Custer's revenge, and like it's for Atari. I'll find it. You have to like get across the screen and rape a naked Indian woman, and you have to like dodge like a hail of arrows like when you do it. But when you get to the woman, like he just pulls down his pants and rapes her, and like you win.
So who made this game?
About to find out.
Yeah, so was it officially licensed, or was it just like a third party kind of thing?
No, it was officially licensed by Atari, adult video game cartridge.
That's fucking crazy, right?
Swedish Erotica made it. Here, I'll post it in chat. Here. This is the game cover. That's very real. I have it. I've played it. And
dude, I've never even heard of this or seen
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. Like there's so many games that like even now we're finding out that like, oh, did you know that this existed? And you're like if you didn't know about Leisure Suit Larry, that wouldn't you would not assume that that existed, right? You'd be like,
Right.
wait, there's no way they fucking made that. Like,
Is
yeah,
all
yeah,
of
they
this for
made that.
GameCube?
No, fuck no. It was years before that. But the game he's talking about is Atari 2600. I'm assuming about that joystick, right?
It should say on the cover which one it's for.
Yeah, Atari,
It
yes,
doesn't
it's
say.
Atari 2600. Yeah,
Excuse me,
on the right hand side of the
young.
bottom. No, the picture I posted is NES. All those are NES accessories.
So many.
But like the headset, I don't remember the headset. I never knew that this existed. Was that headset that they have up there? That's crazy.
Dude, they had video game systems when I was a kid that had like, I think it was Coleco. ColecoVision had like so much unnecessary controllers. Remember the controller with like the dial pad on it?
I
Like
don't. I
that.
barely remember Coleco. I remember like hearing about it, reading about it, whatever. But I don't. I never knew anyone that had it. No.
That's crazy. Like there was so much weird technology back in those days.
See, I had a Atari 2600 that was a hand-me-down from a family member. He had it, and we got it when he went to NES. And then a year or two later, we got the NES. So I went Atari 2600, NES, Sega Genesis, and then Sega Game Gear handheld, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and up. But like 2600, like, I remember playing like Atari 2600, and you'd be like, I can kind of see where this is gonna go one day. And then like Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo still made sense, right? But then like Sega Genesis, GameCube, like GameCube blew me the fuck away. I remember I played that so many times. We would go to J.C. Penney's at the mall, and they had a GameCube inside the boys' clothing section. And like I would just stay there, just fucking pure autism, just playing fucking some little flying game, you know? You just be screaming barrel roll and fucking just, it was perfect. General Custer got a big fucking cock, I know that.
That's pretty funny. Like
Okay.
some of those games were really crazy, like back in the day. There's another one though that was totally banned. It's very difficult to find. It was considered at the time the goriest video game ever made, and it was just over the top ridiculous. It's called Creeper. You should find that. That was an arcade game that they made.
Okay.
And it was like you were in like a House of Horrors. Let me see here if I can find a Creeper band. I think I
It
pulled
was
up.
zombies?
No, let me find it.
Because that would be,
And it would be fun.
what would it, I mean, that's if it's a,
I think it was called Creeper.
so it would have been after NES?
No, it would have been on like Nintendo. I have it. Like I have it on my Raspberry Pi. I know for a fact I have it. I'm not finding it out here. Here, I'll find it on YouTube.
Oh, still there, bro?
Yeah. What was the first gaming console you had, Apple?
A Game Boy. It was great. The first game I had was one I didn't like, and it was not Mario. It was not a princess thing, and it wasn't Zelda.
So, his
It might have been Dora.
Dora the Explorer. This Custer's Revenge
Dora the
thing,
Explorer.
the fucking cartridge had a 1-year warranty on it. That's the funniest part to
What
me.
was that? What had a warranty?
The Custer's
year.
Revenge game. I was just reading the label. And, yeah, there's like some legal disclaimer, but 1-year limited warranty. It's like does not include semen.
Seriously?
Probably.
that game I just posted, that was a Sega Saturn. I forgot, not a GameCube. Sega Saturn was what I remember playing at J.C. Penney's at the store, and it was I remember like I just thought that like I was starting to get a little bit older, and I was like, oh, I can see where things are going. Like I remember reading the magazines, and they were talking about like theoretically what the next generation could be capable of, and they were talking like Sega Saturn and how it was a game changer for consoles and video games and computers and all of this stuff. And I remember playing Sega Saturn and being like, this is so different than Super Nintendo. Like from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, it was it was just faster, you know what I mean? But from Super Nintendo to Sega Saturn, you're like, this is insane. This is like a Model T to a Tesla. Like, you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? It was just so different.
Those sexy
Then they were
Saturn
like, we're going
graphics.
to come out with GameCube. And you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
GameCube ain't got shit on Sega Saturn. And then they're like, wait until you see what Microsoft is cooking up. And you're like, bullshit, they can't get in the game. They don't know what they're doing.
Right, yeah.
They're not Nintendo. They're the new boys in town. They won't fucking last. It's just gonna be a fad. And then they were like, "Hey guys, you want to know what an Xbox is?" And you're like, "Nah, it's not gonna last." Yeah. Whoops.
What? What was the last part about Xbox? I didn't catch it.
No, just like
They
it's
were
not
like
gonna
late
last.
to the party.
Yeah. Do you
gaming.
remember Turok?
Oh.
Do you remember that game?
That
Where you
sounds
could
it was a
very
great game.
familiar.
Yes. Like fuck playing Jurassic Park. You were Jurassic Park. Was it Engine? Jurassic Park 2, the company that ruined everything. INGEN. They had like the jeeps, and they hunted the dinosaurs for hire.
For hire?
Yeah, in the second Jurassic Park movie, there were those guys where they would allow hunters to come to the island to hunt the dinosaurs if you paid them enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a video game where you could hunt the velociraptors with machine guns,
Yeah, and,
and
like,
it was
lasers.
basically
Oh.
that concept, but as a game. It was Turok.
They made a Turok 2 available on Xbox One, and it does look like the T-Rexes have lasers.
I forgot the laser part. I just remember you could have,
Hmm.
like, I don't remember the guns. I just remember you had like pistols and revolvers and machine guns, and then that was like the first like crazy game that I played that I was like, oh, this is some big boy shit. Like, this is
Yeah, there's real
So
environments, and you can like move around and stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about like moving around. Like I remember I always wanted on Tony Hawk
to be able to get off the skateboard and walk somewhere and climb up and then skate down. And then once I had that ability, I instantly regretted it. I was like, this is too much freedom. This is Grand Theft Auto with a skateboard.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted this, and
No,
by
I
the time you're playing
definitely
Tony
like
Hawk
that.
8, you're like, this
Yeah.
is not what I wanted.
Thug. Tony Hawk Underground.
Is that your background static flow, or is it on my end?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Oh, that's probably me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might have been Spiz.
Most of the time, it's Apple.
Yeah, she's always out and about.
My air conditioner just turned on, so
No, it's not bad. It's just something, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. I just thought my Bluetooth was dying.
Does it do that? What up, Kalash Nagash?
Yeah, my Bluetooth.
Oh. I found it. It was called Chiller, not Creeper.
What year was it?
Critical Thinking
I
on
don't
YouTube
know.
says the Jaguar N64,
1986.
the
God.
PlayStation long before
Oh.
Xbox. That's true. Yeah, they were super late.
Oh man, this game is so fucked up. Like, here, I'll just post a YouTube video of like someone setting it up. It was made as an arcade game, and like you have to like kill the people, like chained to the wall, and it's just a whole butcher
good
fest.
God, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like they were like they just went over the top with it, and it's like just all like a house of horrors, and like where you're just torturing and ripping people apart, and
Shit's age restricted, and it's a 1980s.
yeah,
arcade game.
it's totally crazy. But they had this in arcades.
I'm watching the gameplay, and it's exactly what I thought it might be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at a topless woman, and you're shooting like the Grim Reaper, and like shooting hands, and with the super basic creepy music. This is pretty cool though. Like, but I'm sure at the like.
You get to choose.
God, in the
Wait.
80s, imagine seeing this walking
Oh
around the
my
arcade. You're
God.
like, what are you playing over there?
Yeah. This was considered one of those games that was like, all right, let's not go
Yeah,
any
somebody
further
put like a
with
lot
this.
of thought into this. They did like research on torture.
They
like,
were told to make
devices.
this though. That I remember watching the documentary on this, and they were like, yeah, it was like the idea was just to be like over the top, nasty, gross is, and it's just like, it's just so weird.
Was it shock value? Like, I mean, that's what it is, but like, who wanted them to make it? The company?
Yeah, it was like internally, like they were being pushed to just make this game like, I don't know, like this over the top.
So apparently the ghost in the game is one of the first examples of like a transparent animation in video games.
Yeah, it's really weird. XVIII, EXIDY, which I think just got absorbed into Atari over the years. But I remember seeing this, like, because I when I built my Raspberry Pi, like, I bulk downloaded everything, and I told the guys what I wanted, and I said I want everything from PlayStation on down, and he's like, we can do that.
Yeah, the
So he
data's
guided
not
me,
even
and I
that
had
large.
everything. Yeah, and I had everything, and including Japanese imports. But I have a crazy, like, Bushido version of Mario. It's like Mario with a fucking like samurai
Katana,
sword,
yeah.
and like he's in his fucking raccoon suit, and it's like all in Japanese, so I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do or click on.
So what you can do is download the Google Translate app, and you can hold it up to whatever language is on the screen, and it'll translate it into English for you. Pro tip.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like an alternate reality feature. Super sick. So
I
imagine
have
if
that
you're
on
traveling.
I have that on my Google Voice thing. You know that assistant that's like on Android or whatever?
Yeah.
It has that built into it where you can take a picture of something and it like will translate it.
Oh yeah. I've tried it at
Oh yeah,
the
Google.
store
Just like the
for, like-
Google. It's Google Fi or something weird. Google. I think it starts with a P. But yeah, I have that same app. But the Google Translate app it'll do it in real time. You don't have to take a picture and then load it into that and then hit the translate thing. It'll just do it like it's alternate reality. Like it'll overlay the English text over the Japanese. It's pretty baller.
Because I remember when I was testing the beta for Google Maps Street View, where it would use your camera as like augmented reality. So it was overlaying pedestrian directions to whatever it saw. So it'd be like in 17 steps, turn left, right? So they were trying to get it to work with signs that were in other languages. So like part of the beta was like if you're at the grocery store to show the camera anything that's in another language, and it was trying to detect, so you wouldn't tell it what language it's looking at. You would just say translate to English. So like you would show it something in Spanish and then Japanese right afterwards, and it would somewhat figure it out pretty quickly. And like that's crazy to think of that is available to us right now. You know what I mean? Like 40 years ago, that would have blown your mind. But like 100 years ago, it'd be like, yeah, if you're talking to someone from another country, you guys can just both put in earbuds and hold your phone out in front of you, and it'll just translate everything within 2 seconds. That's crazy, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool technology what we have nowadays, but trade-offs, not so well.
Well, it makes you real
No,
lazy.
yeah.
Like usually if you go to another country, or traditionally you would learn some of the language, and now you're just like, fuck you, bro. I got Steve
Yeah,
Jobs in this bitch.
I knew someone who went to Italy, and he was like, it doesn't work. It was 2.5 years ago he went, and he
Too
was like,
emotional. Probably can't
yeah,
translate.
it didn't, like, it picks up, like, he tried it on like YouTube videos where when you're speaking proper, you know, pick a language, right? It
Well,
does
yeah,
that.
the
but it
translation's
doesn't
gonna
do,
be
like, the
broken
street
anyways.
stuff.
Because the
Yeah, like
translator
it's-
apps can never tell like slang, obviously, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
why
the dialect,
having
too.
them in front of you with the body language is probably key.
Yeah, if someone just points at you and like, there's a bathroom over here nonchalantly. You're like, that's pretty cool. And if they're like, there's the place you should go right there, and you're like, you're gonna murder me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna walk into an
I'm
alley.
definitely
You're gonna
getting
rob
robbed.
me
Yeah.
because I don't speak your language.
Go hold out your cell phone 3 feet away from your body in the street while you walk down this sidewalk in New Delhi.
It's gonna be like everything the Facebook boomers told us about Pokemon Go. Like, kids are getting robbed. You're like, well, I mean, if you wander into the ghetto, like, you should have fucking known better.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I bet that happened all the time. Because there's a lot of times there's monuments in the ghetto, and I bet those were Pokestops. Like the Martin Luther King Memorial.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what city you're in. You're gonna get robbed at every single one. I can tell you in Atlanta, every single fucking place that had some historical fucking name was like on Google Maps. You're like, oh, it's right by a MARTA station. It's gonna be well lit. And you're like, yeah, that doesn't help you around here. They will rob you underneath the street light and then fuck the security guard up on the way out. Like, you shouldn't come here.
Dude, by the way, Flo, you were 100% correct about Georgia. I hated it all the way through it.
Fuck you.
I got through that state as fast as I fucking
Fuck
could.
you.
I don't know.
Fuck
I
you.
remember.
Let me tell you my story.
I
Let me tell
remember
you my
talking
story.
shit about Georgia though, but hey, I'll take
You
it.
told me, you said, dude, when you go through Georgia, don't stop. You
It's
just said, like,
bo-
just
I know
don't
it's,
stop,
it's
keep going.
fucking boring, and the cops are probably like super.
Southern
just
half was
bored.
nice, and yeah, it's boring. But the northern half above Atlanta was like just shady as fuck. Like, I left at like 3 in the morning and started driving through it, and all the Oasis gas stations were closed. And there were bums outside sleeping that had cots like right in front of the doors. So like I couldn't go pee anywhere. Everything was closed because I mean I think it probably just attracts, you know, homeless
Right.
people or whatever. And like it was just weird. And then like getting through Atlanta was actually pretty much a breeze. It looks like a small version of Chicago, to be honest. It was just like, oh man, this is what Flo was talking about, man.
Did you take
My grandma one time
without doxing?
she tells me
Well-
this, or she told me this story a lot, and they were going through Georgia one time, and this was before GPS and shit, and so they're kind of lost, and they pull over and they ask this dude, can you tell us how to get to Athens? And he goes, you in Athens.
That sounds
Shit
right.
just makes me laugh.
You win.
Bitch, you in Athens.
That's
Without
funny.
doxing, what interstate were you on at the top
Main
of
one.
Georgia?
Main one.
Okay, yeah.
So probably the one you would assume that goes across into Florida.
Yeah, it's if you went down that interstate, it's
It was just weird because it was
He
nighttime.
just internally
Yeah.
cries. He cries
just
for the
weird.
state of Georgia.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, no, I'll take offense to this, but I was like, oh wait, I actually, okay, yeah, you're not near me, you're near there, and you're like, yeah, you know, it's exactly what you think it would be on the gas stations off the interstate for actual interstate travelers, you know. It's yeah.
It was
it's
a little
exactly what you
strange.
think it
My
would be.
uncle lives there, so like, I mean, they're based as fuck. So like, he's what, Alpharetta? Maybe.
Alfred's got some real fucking money, dude. It's
Yeah,
old
that's
money too. It's got. I like Alpharetta.
that's
All
where
right,
he's
boys.
at, which is like,
I'm gonna wrap this up a little bit earlier than usual, but
yeah,
we
I'm
can
getting
still
sick.
chill. Yeah, me
so
too.
I
I don't
probably
know
need
if
to
I'm
go to
like just
bed.
allergied out.
No,
or what.
Koofy, no.
I might have the
Take your
goof.
vitamin C, buddy.
I had a lump in my throat today. You know that like feeling you get right before you get sick, and it's just like, uh-oh. And I've just been like vitamin C'ing it like crazy today. So
The worst thing that I hate is whenever you are laying down and you feel spit coming up from your throat to the side of your mouth, and you're like, I didn't know I was gonna throw up, and I have about 1 minute before this happens.
Yeah, you just.
And you're like, fuck me.
They call that mouth sweats from where I'm from.
I never knew what the name of it was. That's cool.
Yeah, you get those mouth sweats going. It's time to just boot and rally that shit.
Yeah, most
all
of
right,
them
boys.
Take it easy, Spaz.
Feel
I'm
better,
gonna,
buddy.
I'm gonna check out. I'll see you guys soon. So,
Take it easy,
Feel
bro.
better.
all right.
Fuck around
later.
Tuesday 18. This is pretty good for the video games and stuff. Entertaining, I like it. All right, I'll check chat real quick.
I enjoyed the video game. I didn't realize that I hadn't talked video games in a minute, but yeah, dude, it's so much of our, you know, your youth is tied to that, especially if you had, like, I didn't have cable growing up, so like,
3 stay safe. So he said that people would
safe.
like, they would watch the Pokestops and they'd wait for people to come and then they just rob their phones.
it's not a bad hustle, dude.
Oh, Critical, we're on Trovo, D Live, Entropy, and Odyssey right now. And Von.live, but I don't even know.
Have we gotten any views on that?
Watch, we have like 800 viewers.
Hilarious.
Why are they ignoring
We need to do Goyam,
I'm
but
working on it.
we've both been busy
You
this
can't
week.
just like join that, unfortunately. You have to be invited. So I gotta jangle my clout coins a little bit.
I mean, I hear it works. When you just tell them, do you know who I am?
Let's see, I'm not even on the front page of Von.live. What the fuck?
Fucking
Literally,
haters.
there's somebody streaming their shed. Like they have a garden. Oh.
That may be comfy, depending on if they do it right.
Yeah, it's kind of good background.
Like, can't you see Apple watching one of those streams?
Diamond Dave is DJing.
Oh, yeah.
No, not my Von. Let's see. Shit, am I not live? Maybe I'm not on fucking Von.
I saw earlier when you were screen sharing in the before we went live that you were, it showed it was uploading there.
Yeah, let me try this. I need to get the old vapors.tv up and running. Okay, I'm live, yeah. 35 channel views, what's up? Nobody watching now. Let's see. You can't show urine. It says no showing
What?
of bodily fluids, urine, feces, or sexual fluids, with the exception of drawings, urine and feces only. What the fuck?
What?
They had some really specific shit go down.
You know,
You can smoke weed, but no other drugs.
Yeah, I got a problem with. I know.
Fucking degens.
Yeah, so Internet Etiquette did a video on the Twitch streamers with the bathtubs, or I'm sorry, with the kiddie pools, where they're like, you know, you can only wear a bikini and revealing clothing if it is appropriate for where you're at, i.e., at a beach or in a pool.
Yeah,
and a
so
bunch
they
of these
put a
girls
fucking
figured
pool
out.
in their living room. Yeah.
Yes, and like that's a rabbit hole I went down on.
So some of that shit, it's like an inflatable pool, and they're about 4 feet high, you know. And I'm like, did those bitches even consider what's gonna happen if it gets punctured or if it just like tears and leaks everywhere? Like, hopefully this is the lowest part of their house, but I doubt it.
So I went down on this rabbit hole on Twitch. I spent like 2 hours going through and finding these, and a lot of them are people making fun of these on that category on Twitch, right? A lot of them are guys, and they'll just be like, "Will shake ass for attention nonchalantly at 100 subs," or like whatever. They're just making fun of it, right? But then you see these girls. So you have the ones that are real popular, and then you have a lot of the small streamers, right? And then you can see their rooms, and like you can tell the camera is on the door, and the door is like 4 feet away from the pool. Like, can you imagine walking into your daughter's room? And she's in this tiny ass little room for college at a dorm. And you open up the door and you already hit the bathtub or the pool that she has, you know, and her room is like 10 feet by 10 feet. It's a fucking jail cell, right? She has her bed on one side, a laptop over here, and she's just sitting there in a bikini talking to incels for 30-cent donations at a time. And you're just like, what are you doing? Like, I
they're
can't,
just,
dude.
you know,
I can't.
strong,
It hurts.
independent women. Don't hate on them.
Oh, it hurt me. Like, you know, the ones where they did like real money invested
Amaranth.
into like the lights and shit. You'd be
Amaranth
like, okay, this
was
is your
like-
hustle.
I think Amaranth was the top streamer on Twitch, and that's what she was doing. They took away her ads. Of course, they still play ads on her shit, but she just doesn't get paid for it anymore. There's so many fucking ads on Twitch,
That's a
I didn't
boss
even
move.
know that. Like, I was watching a Twitch stream the other day, which I very seldom do, and there were just ads on top of ads. I think it was Tfue, so that makes sense because he's super popular, but fuck. It was like every minute there was 3 15-second ads, or every 5 minutes or something like that. I guess that encourages
know
people
that. Like,
to
I haven't-
sub. You can still watch the stream, but it's like real small on your screen, and then like the ads take up most of it.